Hi, Jonathan York from Bay Financial Partners, looking at the investment markets. Pretty interesting turn in the US wall debate with President Trump announcing now that it's a national emergency. From his comments, he fully expects to be sued and sort of taken through the judicial system. It would appear that he will probably lose the initial case, but he's hoping that once he gets to the Supreme Court, it will then be voted in his favour and he'll be asked to take sort of funds from other US policies and programs, which will enable him to then build the wall. Now this looks like a saga that's going to run for quite some time. It's just going to be very interesting to see how it sort of plays through. Potentially though, this does give President Trump a way out, because if the judiciary do sort of shut his sort of proposal down, he can then claim that he did try and build the wall, but it was closed down through the legal process. Though the initial take doesn't seem to support his case really for a national emergency. By his own words, he sort of admitted that he could have done this over a longer process, but he chose to do it quickly through a national emergency. Doesn't really sort of come to the definition for a national emergency. The other hot topic is obviously the US-China trade talks. They appear to be sort of moving certainly in the right direction. The market took sort of quite a nice sort of pop on Friday from comments coming out that there is some progress being made. And as sort of discussed here before, both sides really need a deal to be put into place. Certainly China for somewhere for its goods to go to, and the US as well to keep their economy moving on, especially for President Trump as you move into the election year of 2020. So looking at it, obviously, if we can get a US-China trade deal sorted with the Fed on hold, the US economy looking pretty strong, certainly most of the conditions are in place still for this equity market to continue its upward move, certainly for the next sort of 6 to 9 months. Just on the election side, more Democrats are now coming forward. We can now see Bernie Sanders looks like he's going to throw his hat into the ring as well. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that sort of plays through in the next sort of 3 to 6 months as they start to sort of gather a little bit of momentum, start a little bit of campaigning in earnest, and really just see how much support they do have throughout the country. On the back of the sort of renewed optimism on the US-China trade deal, oil is that little pop now, it's above $55 a barrel, and again, sort of going to be interesting to see if that can then sort of push on towards sort of 60 and see how it sort of trades through there. Brexit still looks a mess, as we head to pretty quickly now towards that March 29 deadline. The UK Labour Party, the opposition party, seems to be in turmoil as well. We've seen 8 MPs have sort of resigned from that party on sort of various issues with the way the sort of parties run and its sort of views on certain sort of groups. But all the time, Prime Minister May is sort of trying to get a deal done, and it's just going to be very interesting to see how it sort of plays through. You can't help believing that really no one wants a hard Brexit, and that, when push finally comes to shove and then sort of in the 11th hour, there will be a deal put in place and agreed to by the UK Parliament. Here in New Zealand, reporting season is sort of getting off to a pretty reasonable start. Port of Tauranga had some pretty good results. Steel and Tube weren't too bad. And it's just going to be interesting now to see how the rest of the reporting season goes. But so far, it looks pretty good. On the fixed interest side, Context, we've got a bond in the marketplace, 5 years. That rate looks to be around sort of 355-ish, 360 indicative rate at present. Now, if you are interested in that, call us on 0800 867 323 or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz. Also, as well, CBA announced last week that they are going to repay the 2 preference shares they've got on the marketplace, Series 1 and Series 2. They will be repaid in May of this year. And again, for sort of investors who bought those on the secondary market, they've seen a reasonable sort of capital pickup, plus a little bit of reasonable income coming through as well. Now, as always, if you are looking for income options, there are plenty of alternatives available out there. And call us on 0800 867 323 or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz for lots of interesting articles. And we look forward to speaking to you soon.